Sergeant Stewart.
Billy.
What's up, man?
How's it?
Coming on in. We are already sound checked and frame checked and just ready to roll.
Ready to roll. All right. Perfect.
How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
It was a great day. Great day,
Yeah.
dude. Have
Good.
I told you about my new friend Wally?
No.
Dude, so I've been getting into tennis recently, like the last year or so. You know, I've been really wanting to like get good at it, you know. And so my buddy Tim and I, we started playing. He has some rackets, and we've been doing our thing, and we had been doing it pretty consistently for a few months, and then I hit a good corner shot, and he blew out his knee. So he's been out, and I've just been praying to the universe, send me a tennis partner, you know? And
Yes.
and I'm at the park over in Sycamore, and I see this old dude pull up. He's got a machine, and he just goes to town. Just a man and his machine, you know, just running through balls.
Nice.
And I set up the slack line like outside of the tennis court there, and he comes out and he's like, "Oh my gosh, what is this?" You know, we just start talking, and he says he's traveled the world. He wasn't pro, but like basically he was pro. He's like, I'm so old that it wasn't pro. They didn't even call it pro back then. He's like, but you know, it took me through college. I traveled the world, this and that, and yeah, this dude's 91 years old, hitting the court every single day, like.
That's amazing.
And so immediately I'm just like, dude, if it's ever okay, you know, I would love to join you sometime. And he's like, oh yeah, anytime, you know. So I was like, all right, yeah. And then I seen him again, and I told him, I'm like, you're like custom model right now, like. You know, that's Mike Tyson's mentor right there, you know? So I'm like, dude, like, let's go. I'm your Mike Tyson. Let's do this, you know?
That's awesome, man.
And he's
right
like straight militant, like we're running drills, like, no, pick up your elbow. You're doing it wrong. Like he's like digging at me, dude. So it's pretty cool. So I went there today, and he was there, and it's not like we've never like, hey, we're going to meet at this time. It's always just random. And so it's really cool. But anyway, he brought me a new racket today, like a $400 racket. And he's like, here, this is what you need. This is a man's racket. He's like, you've been using a little girl's racket this whole time.
That's awesome. Right on.
And dude, so yeah, it was cool. He just has so much to say. Like,
That's cool.
But yeah, he was just telling me all about, you know, tennis and form and this and that, and so it was good. It's a good little thing going there. So
Yeah, right on, man. Good.
Yeah.
That's cool. Right on. Good.
yeah,
Good. That's sweet. And water there.
Yeah, man.
Arnold Palmer here.
There you go. So what's new?
Man, I don't know. It's kind of feels like it's getting a little crazy. Seems like today was an interesting day. Of course, yesterday a couple of weird things came up. I heard Disney was offering vaccinations at certain places. Disney. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
There was a congressman who has, I guess, proposed that the so-called Black National Anthem be made a national hymn to help healing in this country moving forward, which is kind of interesting. And at the same time that was happening, you know, to help healing, you have Nancy Pelosi slamming MAGA protesters as racist because they went and protested and demonstrated. Just some couple of really weird notes that I noticed there. But
Yeah.
a couple of bigger things. Antifa activist John Sullivan, that's the guy from Utah.
Yeah.
He has been arrested. He was caught on, some videos came up of him talking about and admitting going into the Capitol building and to riot and break things, and videotapes of him saying, let's burn this shit, and this and that. And
Yeah.
Right at the same time, some video of CNN reporter Jade Sacker, congratulating him once he got in the Capitol building after saying all that stuff. So seems like CNN was complicit with Antifa, and at the very least participating with them breaking into the Capitol. That's very interesting. So wow, that was kind of crazy hearing that. But a really interesting thing is kind of my main thing I wanted to talk about was this whole green zone around Washington, D.C. I say green zone like it was a green zone around Baghdad, Iraq. Okay,
20,000? What are we at? 20,000?
20, and I guess evidently now it could potentially be up to 25. And you know what it kind of looks like? It looks like they're building a FEMA camp around Washington, D.C., Billy. And so, point of note here. I'm not sure if I discussed the theory previously. Maybe I did or didn't, but there's a theory that some ex-military guys who are now alt media guys reporting, thinking that, and looking at some of the facts that have gone down, FEMA has been put in charge of the operations surrounding the emergency declaration that Trump signed for this Washington, D.C. inauguration event.
Yeah.
He put FEMA in charge of stuff. And, FEMA has some extraordinarily out of the Constitution powers. They have powers that, when it comes to national emergency, continuity of government powers, provisional government powers, stuff like that. They can do a lot of stuff outside of what our regular course of law is, and many of those things are go and pick people up and lock them up and hold tribunals, if you will, and whatnot. The current head of FEMA is a Marine general, a military guy. At any rate, FEMA is in charge of this stuff. I make that joke about, looks like they're building a FEMA camp around Washington, D.C., but check this out. The mayor of Washington, D.C. requested to FEMA the assistance from the National Guard. Point of note, the D.C. National Guard is the only guard unit that is under direct control of POTUS, because it's a federal entity, right? The District of Columbia, and through SecDef and SecArmy, the National Guard in D.C. is under direct control of POTUS. Very interesting, though, that the request was made to FEMA for the National Guard assistance. FEMA is not in the normal chain of command to request National Guard assistance from any other, a government entity like a city or a state or whatnot. So a very interesting point to know. That kind of leads you to believe that there is some alternate chain of command,
right,
for all of that in place right now. But 25,000 troops in D.C., they have been issued arms. They are armed.
I saw the shield drops and the weapon drop. Yeah.
They have, so you've seen videos probably of the trucks coming in and they're getting their racks of M4s and whatnot out and issuing them to the soldiers. So they're being armed. They're being given shields. But an interesting note we also heard is they've been given what's known as if I misquote this. Don't get mad, anyone who might hear this term, but hot orders. They essentially have orders within the zone of people who do not comply of shoot to kill.
Woo!
They have rules of engagement, if you will. Very interesting notes there. All this for MAGA supporters coming to demonstrate.
Dude, we are on the cusp of another false flag, and they're gonna put on the show. That's what I'm like. What you said last time was so key. Like, this is real play-by-play shit, and yeah, if you're gonna go to these events and you're gonna respond and you think you're being some patriot, and meanwhile you're getting straight infiltrated, provocateured by your enemy, your opponent, and you're thinking you're getting totally psyoped here. So there are, like you said, there's armed march posters, right, going out, and there's effort to lure people in, and it's like, oh, y'all want to fuck around? All right, here's 25,000 of our boys. Let's see how tough you are. And then and then your same crew puts out lures, puts out all these fishing lines. Yeah. And all right, let's see, and it's going to take like the foolish, maybe like the younger type of dudes that like have something to prove, or they want, they're going to lure in some suckers here, and that'll then be used. Like it'll probably be like 90% provocateurs, and then like a 10% of actual people that they lure in because maybe they don't have a father figure, or you know what I'm saying? Like something.
It'll be interesting to see who's able to get in there. They've set up checkpoints on all the roads. Yeah. I mean, it's like someone else described it. It looks like East Berlin.
It's occupied territory, and
right. So excuse me, West Berlin, inside East Germany. There's checkpoints going in. They're going to check IDs, people to get into the zone. So it'll be interesting to see who gets in. But President Trump they issued a video of him speaking, where he said 3 times, no violence. I want peace. I want peace. Stay home. Right. Relax now. It's it's time to make peace and heal and make things better now. And he mentioned things. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. So that was kind of interesting, and all of that, right after he gets impeached again for the second time, right now. So now he's been impeached, and we'll see if the articles are going to be submitted to the Senate. Potentially that sounds like that may happen on the 19th.
Awesome.
Like, what the really? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So that's kind of some interesting stuff there, but just like you're kind of hitting on it there. Don't be stupid.
He needs to put out that message. I feel he needs to step up and say, listen, over the next few days, over the next few years, you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone, just as a principle, do not fall for this,
Yes.
That's got to hit the waves.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't said it like that explicitly. He's put out a few different messages, and some of his, even on the Twitter that's back up, of the POTUS account, not the real Donald Trump account, but the POTUS account, sent a few things out. He's telling his people this is violence and that kind of stuff is not part of the movement.
Are you familiar with Machiavellianism?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How could you shed some light on that as it relates to what's going on here?
Well, I mean, in what respect?
Well, just the term itself. I mean, what it means. It's specifically. Machiavelli wrote a book called The Prince, and it was a book that he created for princes, to stay in power. And he is explicit in saying, Like, this is not a moral, journey here. Like, this is going to be what is necessary for you to keep your kingdom, and this is how you approach it. You lie, you cheat, you steal,
Well, okay.
you inflict pain, you create these agent provocateurs. Like, it's the playbook of what it seems to be is going on right now. So, like, I don't know, it's kind of a new term. Michael Franzese, the older mafia dude, he put out something that mentioned this word Machiavelli, and Machiavellianism or something like that. He's saying that the government is acting very Machiavellian.
Well, yeah, I guess I didn't understand as far as who in reference you were discussing, but that's exactly right. I mean, I think the deep state's following that playbook.
Yeah.
There's certainly the playbook that's been followed over and over and over and over and over again too, since ages and ages and ages ago. I mean, from ancient times.
Yeah, the book's 500 years old or something like that.
And with the current system, with the say the Rothschilds central bank system goes back to Meyer Rothschilds and in the 1600s, I guess it was.
Yeah.
So that's but
years.
it started back earlier than that in other cultures, the same type of stuff. It's the money is the root of all evil, and that's each society which goes down that route ends up devouring itself.
Yeah.
And that's what this system has done, and is merely right now on life support, just waiting to die. Our economic system, and that's interesting. This is good for another a segment, just talking about the economic system and what's going on with that, and how it is dying, and what's going to happen, and what may happen, and all that good stuff. So we'll talk about that soon.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Yeah, I think we're good for this session so far.
Yeah.
What's today? The 13th?
The 14th today.
14th. So
yeah.
January 14th, 2021 update with Sergeant Stewart. Anything else?
I shot you a text on a little idea there. So
okay.
Right on.
Cool, man.
All right.
Have a good night, and we'll do
too.
this here coming up soon in a few days.
Right on.
Hell yeah, dude.
Keep on the ground. Take
All right,
it
dude.
easy, Bill.
See ya.